Welcome to my channel, Most Worth Coins, WC Today. Videos is one you won't to miss. We're diving into the world of top 4 Pence coins, so let's get it started. The 1992 Elizabeth II 2 pence 2p coin, full historical and numismatic details. The 1992 2 pence 2p coin of the United Kingdom is a key part of the British decimal coinage system, which has undergone many changes since its introduction in 1971. This coin, while often seen as a simple everyday piece of change, represents a significant moment in numismatic history due to its material composition change and its place in the evolution of British currency during Queen Elizabeth II's reign. Obverse design. A royal portrait and traditional Latin titles. The obverse, or front, of the 1992 2 pence coin features the third definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Maklouf. This effigy was introduced in 1985 and used until 1997. In the portrait, the Queen is shown wearing the George IV state diadem, a diamond crown traditionally worn by queens during the state opening of Parliament. Maklouf's design is noted for its elegance and formality, capturing the regal presence of the monarch while retaining a contemporary feel. Unlike earlier portrayals, Maklouf's effigy bears a more stylized, idealized depiction, which some critics called too flattering, though it was broadly accepted and widely used. Surrounding the portrait is the Latin legend, Elizabeth II. De Gregfd. This abbreviated stands for Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, which translates as Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This traditional title has been used on British coins for centuries and reflects the monarch's constitutional and religious roles. Dei Gratia, by the grace of God, acknowledges divine authority, while Fidei Defensor, Defender of the Faith, is a title first granted to Henry VIII by Pope Leo X in 1521 and retained even after England's split from the Catholic Church. The obverse also includes the date 1992 at the bottom, clearly indicating the year of minting. Reverse design. The badge of the Prince of Wales. The reverse of the 1992 2 pence coin retains the original reverse design from 1971, created by Christopher Ironside, a renowned British coin designer. The central motif is the badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet. Beneath the feathers is a ribbon bearing the motto Ich diene, which is German for I serve. This design was selected to symbolize the Prince of Wales and has adorned the 2p coin since decimalization. Above the badge is the denomination 2 pence, written in full, which is important when discussing a notable variety error that occurred with coins minted in other years, notably 1983, where some coins were mistakenly struck with the old new pence legend. The coin's outer edge is plain, smooth, as is typical for most low-denomination coins in modern British coinage. Key change in 1992. From bronze to copper-plated steel. One of the most significant features of the 1992 2 pence coin is the change in metal composition. Prior to 1992, 2 pence coins were struck in bronze, an alloy typically composed of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. However, due to the rising cost of copper in the global market during the late 1980s and early 1990s, the Royal Mint decided to switch to a cheaper alternative. Starting in 1992, all 1p and 2p coins were struck using copper-plated steel. This composition involved a mild steel core with a thin layer of copper plating to preserve the coin's traditional appearance. Although they look similar to the earlier bronze coins, these copper-plated steel coins are magnetic, whereas bronze coins are not. This allows for an easy test to distinguish between pre- and post-1992 coins using a simple magnet. This transition also marked a turning point in British coinage, as it represented one of the first major metal substitutions for cost-saving purposes in modern UK minting. From 1992 onward, nearly all 2p coins minted for general circulation would use this new composition. Mintage and circulation in 1992, the Royal Mint produced a very large number of 2p coins for circulation, over 331 million coins. This high mintage reflects the coin's common use in everyday transactions at the time. Because of this large number, the 1992 2p coin is not considered rare in circulated condition. However, high-grade, uncirculated or proof examples, especially those in original Royal Mint packaging, can be of interest to collectors. It's worth noting that the 2p coin has remained in circulation and continued to be minted regularly, though usage has declined in the 21st century due to inflation and the growing use of digital payments. There have been discussions about phasing out the 1p and 2p coins in recent years, though no official decision has been implemented yet. Collectability and value for most collectors, a standard 1992 2p coin in circulated condition holds minimal value above face value. However, coins in uncirculated condition, or those that are part of official Royal Mint sets, can carry a premium. Additionally, errors such as off-center strikes, double strikes, or die cracks may increase a coin's value depending on the severity and appeal of the error. Another important detail to watch for with older 2p coins is the new pence versus 2p legend. This does not apply to the 1992 coin, but is of great interest to collectors of earlier and transitional pieces. For example, a small number of 1983 2p coins were mistakenly struck with the old new pence legend, and these are considered quite rare. While the 1992 issue itself does not boast such errors, its distinction lies in the material transition, making it a milestone in modern British coinage. Historical and cultural context. Queen Elizabeth II's long reign saw many changes to British society, politics, and coinage. The 1992 2p coin is one small but meaningful artifact from this period. It reflects the adaptation of national traditions in response to global economic realities. A monarch's effigy encircling a coin made of steel, serving millions in daily commerce. The Prince of Wales motif, while historic and traditional, also takes on new meaning in the modern era, especially with the 21st century accession of Prince Charles to the throne as King Charles III. The coins from Elizabeth's era, including this 1992 2p, are becoming historical snapshots of a changing monarchy and nation. The 1994 United Kingdom 2p coin, full historical and numismatic perspective, in the world of British coinage, where monarchs come and go and economic systems shift over centuries, even the smallest denominations carry centuries of symbolism, design heritage, and cultural memory. The 1994 2p 2p coin, minted during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, may seem like just another humble coin in your pocket, but a deeper look reveals it as a product of tradition, economic pragmatism, and national identity, all encased in copper-plated steel. Obverse, a regal and enduring image. The obverse, front, of the 1994 2p coin features the third definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Raphael Makhlouf. This design was first introduced in 1985 and remained in use until 1997. Makhlouf's rendering of the Queen was notable for its dignity and grace, showing Her Majesty crowned with the George IV state diadem, a jewel-encrusted crown famously worn for the state opening of Parliament. Makhlouf's effigy was widely praised at the time for its blend of idealism and realism. It portrays the Queen as timeless, stately, and composed, which aligned with public sentiment during the late 20th century. The portrait is surrounded by the Latin Elizabeth de Gregft, 1994. This translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith, a traditional that emphasizes the monarch's divine right to rule and her ceremonial role as supreme governor of the Church of England. This formulaic phrase has deep historical roots, tracing back through Tudor and Stuart coinage, reminding us of Britain's unbroken lineage of sovereigns and the constitutional position of the crown. The year of issue, 1994, appears at the bottom of the coin, making it easily identifiable. Reverse, traditional royal heraldry. The reverse of the coin continues the classic design introduced at decimalization in 1971 by Christopher Ironside. It features the badge of the Prince of Wales, a design that's both visually distinctive and historically significant. 3 ostrich feathers emerge from a coronet, and beneath it lies a ribbon inscribed with the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This badge has been associated with the title of the Prince of Wales since the 14th century, reflecting loyalty, duty, and the heir's responsibility to the crown and the people. In 1994, this symbolism pointed directly to Prince Charles, the longest-serving Prince of Wales in history, who at the time was a central figure in both royal affairs and public debate. Above the central motif appears the denomination in full text, 2 pence, marking the coin clearly. This was introduced in 1982, replacing the earlier new pence, used from 1971 to 1981. The coin's edge is plain, in keeping with its denomination and design simplicity. Metal composition, a practical transition. The 1994 2p coin is particularly significant in terms of its metal composition. Though the original 2p coins were minted in bronze, a mix of copper, tin, and zinc, from 1971 through 1991, the Royal Mint transitioned in 1992 to a more economical material, copper-plated steel. This change was driven by rising copper prices and a need to reduce the cost of producing low-value coins. The result was a coin that visually resembled its bronze predecessors, but could be magnetically separated due to the steel core beneath its thin copper layer. As a result, 1994 2p coins are magnetic, unlike earlier versions, and this subtle difference is often the first clue for collectors trying to sort their coins by era. Despite the cost-saving change, the Royal Mint preserved the appearance and size of the coin, maintaining public familiarity and ease of use across vending machines, and Till's dimensions and specifications: diameter, 25.9 mm, weight, approx. 7.12 grams, thickness, 1.85 mm edge, plain composition, copper-plated steel. These specifications allowed for seamless integration into daily commerce while offering durability and economy, mintage and circulation. In 1994, the Royal Mint produced 213,616,000 2-pence coins for general circulation. This substantial mintage ensured a steady supply for retail and banking needs. The UK was still very much a cash-driven society at the time, and low-value coins like the 2p remained essential for transactions, change-making, and machine use. The coins entered the economy through banks and post offices and quickly became ubiquitous in British purses, change jars, and public transport systems. As a result, the 1994 2p became a well-used, well-worn part of the national monetary landscape. Historical and cultural context. The year 1994 was a relatively stable yet culturally significant period in British history. The country was emerging from recession, and the Conservative government led by John Major was navigating a turbulent economy and internal party conflicts over Europe. Meanwhile, the royal family, especially Prince Charles and Princess Diana, remained under intense public scrutiny due to personal and media tensions. In this environment, the 2p coin served as a symbol of everyday normalcy, part of the quiet, constant rhythm of British life. Despite changes in the political and cultural landscape, coinage offered a sense of continuity and reassurance. It was a tangible piece of the nation, present in every exchange, every till, every bus fare, and every pocket. Collector's value and interest. While the 1994 2p coin is not rare due to its high mintage, it holds numismatic interest for a few reasons. Material composition shift. It is one of the earlier years of the copper-plated steel era. Macluff's effigy. Coins bearing this portrait are increasingly appreciated as examples of late 20th century royal design. Historical context. As part of a continuous coinage system, the 1994 issue is sought after by those building date runs or full-year sets. Coins in brilliant uncirculated, BU, or proof quality, especially those issued in official. Mint sets carry modest premiums depending on condition and packaging. Circulated examples are typically worth only face value unless found in exceptional condition. Error coins, such as misaligned dies, clipped planchets, or double strikes, from this year are rare but can fetch higher prices from specialized. Collector's. A snapshot of tradition and transition. In conclusion, the 1994 Elizabeth II. 2p coin may not be a rare gem, but it is undoubtedly a valuable artifact in terms of history, design, and continuity. It represents a balance between long-standing royal imagery and modern economic adaptation, all within a small yet significant coin. As the world moved toward digital transactions and evolving national identities, this humble 2p stood firm, a daily reminder of Britain's rich past and enduring traditions. For historians, numismatists, and everyday citizens alike, it offers a tangible link to the United Kingdom's living history, one small circular piece at a time. Would you like this adapted into a script for a YouTube video or perhaps paired with graphics for a coin blog or guide? I can help you build a full content plan around it. The 1997 Elizabeth II 2p, 2p coin, complete historical and numismatic insight. The 1997 2p coin from the United Kingdom is more than just a small piece of copper-colored metal passed through countless hands. It is a snapshot of British heritage, a reflection of monarchy, and a symbol of continuity in a rapidly changing world. This seemingly simple coin, bearing the familiar Latin Elizabeth II Degregfud, is rooted in centuries of tradition, yet stands as a product of its own time, economically, artistically, and politically. Obverse. The monarch and her title. The obverse of the 1997 2p coin features the third definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Raphael Macluff. Introduced in 1985, this depiction was used until 1997, making this the final year it appeared on the 2p coin before being replaced by a new portrait in 1998. Macluff's effigy is characterized by its formal elegance. The Queen is shown wearing the George IV state diadem, a piece traditionally worn for the state opening of Parliament. Her expression is composed and slightly idealized, a portrayal that was at the time both praised and criticized for its perceived youthfulness and formality. Encircling the portrait is the royal title in Latin, Elizabeth II Degregfud, 1997. This abbreviation stands for Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, which translates to Elizabeth II by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This has been a feature of British coins for centuries, connecting modern coinage with its deep historical and religious roots. The phrase underscores both the divine legitimacy of the monarch and the Queen's constitutional role as the head of the Church of England. Reverse. The heraldry of the Prince of Wales. The reverse design remained unchanged since the coin's introduction in 1971. Designed by Christopher Ironside, a noted British artist and engraver, it features the badge of the Prince of Wales. This heraldic symbol includes 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet. Beneath the coronet lies a ribbon bearing the German motto Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design has rich historical significance. The badge has been associated with the title of the Prince of Wales since the 14th century and symbolizes the heir apparent to the British throne. At that time, Prince Charles, now King Charles III. This makes the coin not only a representation of the Queen's reign, but also a nod to her successor. The denomination 2 pence is inscribed clearly above the central motif, marking it out from earlier coins, 1971, 1981, which bore the term new pence. The edge of the coin is plain, smooth without any reading or, a common feature for lower denomination UK coins. Material composition, the cost-driven change. Continues since 1992, 2 pence coins have been minted in copper-plated steel, and the 1997 issue continues this trend. The switch from bronze to copper-plated steel was initiated due to rising copper prices. This change significantly reduced the production costs of low-denomination coins, which were otherwise becoming more expensive to manufacture than their face value. The result is a coin that visually resembles its bronze predecessor, but has a steel core beneath the copper coating. This difference can be easily detected with a magnet. Copper-plated steel coins are magnetic, while bronze coins are not. This material change marked a new era in British coin production, where economic pragmatism began to take precedence over traditional materials. It also reflects broader global trends during the 1990s, when many nations were reconsidering their coinage compositions to align with modern costs, mintage, and circulation. The year 1997 saw an exceptionally high mintage of the 2 pence coin. Over 496 million coins were produced. This makes it one of the most commonly issued 2p coins in UK history. The large volume reflected the continued demand for small change in everyday transactions during the pre-digital cash-heavy economy of the 1990s. Given this massive mintage, the 1997 2p coin is not rare and is still frequently found in circulation today. Its ubiquity makes it a sentimental relic for many British citizens, a coin they've likely handled countless times without a second thought. Cultural and historical context. The 1997 2p coin was minted in a significant year in British history. It was the final full year before the death of Princess Diana, and also the last year of the Makhlouf portrait on coinage. That same year, Tony Blair's Labour Party won a landslide election, ending nearly 2 decades of conservative rule. These changes mark the end of one political era and the beginning of another. Amidst this backdrop, the 2p coin stood as a quiet constant, bearing the image of a monarch who had seen the UK through wars, transitions, and societal shifts. For numismatists and cultural historians alike, such coins become more than monetary units. They are time capsules of public life, monarchy, and identity, collectors' interest and value. From a collector's standpoint, the standard 1997 2 pence coin is common in circulated condition, typically valued only at face value unless found in pristine, uncirculated quality. However, coins from proof sets or brilliant uncirculated BU sets issued by the Royal Mint for collectors may command a modest premium, especially if still in original packaging. Coins struck with errors, such as off-center designs, planchets, flaws, or die cracks, are always of special interest to collectors. While no major errors are officially associated with the 1997 2p, isolated examples of misstrikes have been reported. It's also worth noting that, while 1997 coins aren't especially rare, their relevance increases over time. With each passing year, these coins grow older, eventually moving from circulation into collections and displays. The 1997 issue, being the last year of the Makhlouf portrait, may one day be seen as the capstone of an era, increasing its future. Numismatic value. A legacy coin in the making. Although it may seem ordinary today, the 1997 2 pence coin quietly represents several transitions. The closing of the 20th century, the end of Makhlouf's royal portrait on UK coinage, and the firm establishment of cost-effective copper-plated steel coinage. With its blend of royal symbolism, economic practicality, and enduring design, this coin remains a vital part of British numismatic history. Whether found in a coin jar, tucked into a childhood memory, or studied through the lens of historical significance, the 1997 Elizabeth II 2p coin offers more than meets the eye. A tiny but powerful representation of a queen's enduring reign, a nation's evolving identity, and the artistry embedded in everyday money. The 2007 Elizabeth II 2 pence, 2p coin, full historical and numismatic perspective, the 2007 United Kingdom. 2 pence coin, seemingly a modest copper-colored disc that often disappears into pockets and piggy banks, is in fact a quietly remarkable artifact. Bearing the enduring Latin Elizabeth II de Gregfid, it captures a moment in British monetary history, royal heritage, and modern minting practices. Though common in circulation, the 2007 2p coin is the product of more than 1,000 years of coinage tradition, forged in an era of subtle national transformation and steady royal continuity. Obverse, a new royal portrait for a changing century. The obverse, front, of the 2007 2 pence coin showcases the fourth definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley and introduced in 1998. This portrait marked a shift from the more stylized and youthful depictions of earlier years to a realistic, mature portrayal of the monarch. Rank Broadley emphasized dignity and authenticity, showing the Queen with a greater degree of naturalism. She wears the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her most iconic and personally cherished royal headpieces. Encircling the portrait is the royal title, traditionally rendered in Latin, Elizabeth II de Gregfid, 2007. This classic A expands to Elizabeth II de Gratia Regina Fide Defensor, meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, defender of the faith. These words have been stamped on British coins for generations, reflecting both the monarchy's divine right and its long-standing role as head of the Church of England. The date 2007 sits clearly at the bottom of the coin's obverse, grounding the piece in its specific historical context, a year in which the UK was navigating the final years of the pre-digital, pre-Brexit era. Reverse, traditional heraldry amid a modernizing mint. The reverse of the 2007 2p coin retains the long-standing design created by Christopher Ironside for the decimal coinage system introduced in 1971. This design, used from 1971 until 2008, features the badge of the Prince of Wales, consisting of 3 ostrich feathers rising from a coronet, accompanied by a ribbon bearing the German motto Ich diene, which translates as I serve. Above this badge appears the denomination in words, 2 pence. This distinguishes it from earlier coins, 1971, 1981, which bore the transitional wording new pence. Ironside's design represents a direct link to the heir apparent, then Prince Charles, now King Charles III, and serves as a subtle reminder of continuity within the British royal family. The design is heraldic, historical, and deeply symbolic, encapsulating a centuries-old tradition of monarchical and national representation through coinage. Edge and dimensions. The 2007 2 pence coin has a plain edge, a smooth and unadorned rim typical for low-denomination coins in the UK. Its dimensions are standardized: diameter 25.9 mm, thickness 1.85, weight approximately 7.12 grams. These specifications have remained mostly consistent since decimalization, ensuring uniformity for vending machines, cash registers, and public familiarity. Metal composition. The era of copper-plated steel. By 2007, the Royal Mint was well into the era of cost-effective production, and the 2p coin was minted in copper-plated steel. This change, which began in 1992, was made in response to the rising cost of copper on the global market. The result is a coin that looks like solid copper, but is in fact made from steel with a thin copper coating. The main distinguishing feature between the older bronze coins, 1971, 1991, and the newer steel-based coins is magnetism. Copper-plated steel coins are magnetic, whereas bronze coins are not. This characteristic became particularly useful for sorting and handling large quantities of coinage in banks and vending systems. The move to copper-plated steel reflects a broader global trend in minting, where practicality and economics take precedence over tradition. Despite the change in material, the coin's appearance remained largely unchanged to avoid public confusion. Mintage and circulation. The Royal Mint struck a massive quantity of 2 pence coins in 2007, approximately 146 million for general circulation. This high number underlines the continued widespread use of low-value coins in everyday transactions at the time. These coins entered circulation through banks, post offices, and cash-based businesses. In 2007, the UK was still largely a cash-driven society, especially for small purchases, vending machines, and public transport. The 2p coin remained an essential part of the country's economic fabric. Cultural and economic context. The year 2007 was a notable one in British history. It marked the end of Tony Blair's premiership and the beginning of Gordon Brown's leadership. The economy was still booming before the 2008 global financial crisis, and conversations around the future of British coinage were beginning to stir in both economic and cultural circles. This coin was minted during the twilight of a traditional era in UK currency design. Just a year later, in 2008, the Royal Mint would launch an entirely new reverse design across circulating coins, featuring the Royal Shield of Arms spread out over the denominations from 1p to 50p. That made the 2007 coins the last full year issue of the traditional designs before this dramatic artistic overhaul. As such, the 2007 2 pence is not just a common coin, but the final chapter in a nearly 4-decade-long design period, giving it added historical significance for collectors and historians alike. Collectability and market value due to its high mintage. The standard 2007 2p coin holds little to no additional value in circulated condition. However, coins in brilliant uncirculated, BU or proof condition, especially those from official Royal Mint sets, can carry modest premiums among collectors. These sets were often issued in presentation packaging and are valued for their superior strike quality and preserved condition. Error coins are another area of collector interest. Mistrikes, clipped planchets, or design anomalies can raise a 2007 2p's value considerably, depending on rarity and visual appeal. Finally, because this was the final year before the 2008 redesign, some collectors view the 2007 2p as the end of an era, much like the last edition of a classic book cover, and prefer to include it in full sets of classic decimal coinage, a quiet icon of everyday British life, despite being one of the most commonly used and least valued coins. The 2007 Elizabeth II 2 pence holds a unique and lasting place in the story of modern Britain. It embodies the last breath of a long-standing design tradition, minted under a monarch who had become the most enduring figure in British public life. It was struck at a time when the UK was at the cusp of economic crisis and cultural change, and just before a complete transformation in the look of its everyday money. Thus, the 2007 2p coin is not just spare change. It's a time capsule, a royal emblem, and a tiny piece of economic history.